is it's Sunday. We haven't done a live show
since the 4th.
3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
On the upside, we've still put out a lot of content. We've been doing a lot more pre-recorded stuff. I did a 5-day challenge where I went to the bins every day and listed everything and sold everything. Listed everything same day. I wish I was going to say
sold everything.
I wish I sold it all the same day. But anyway, so we have been getting some other content up. But we're back.
We're back.
Here.
Yeah, I was in Nashville with our friends Diane and Trish for a bucket list with a twist trip. Got to go to the CMA Fest, which was super interesting. I'd never been to Nashville before. I loved it. I didn't want to go back. I don't want to go back during CMA Fest necessarily because there's so many things that I wanted to see, but I was not able to see because the sheer amount of people that were there for the festival. Like I only got to see like the Grand Ole Opry from the outside and the Country Music Hall of Fame on the outside, everything that was on Broadway. There's lots of museums and fun things that I really wanted to see. Had we had more time, or had I had more time, I suppose I could have stayed if I wanted to. So definitely want to go back.
Speaking of time, I named this show Commodity of Time because seriously, we have so much stuff going on. We've been traveling so much, and you've been traveling, and now we're leaving very, very early tomorrow to go to Phoenix for camp listing party. So we've got so much stuff and trying to get everything done, getting ready for the remix. Tickets go on sale next Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern time. And so just trying to get all of that like set into place. And it's just hard because it's like, I feel like we have like these little pockets of time where we're actually able to work, and it can get frustrating with like how it affects sales. And
my sales are garbage, guys. Let's face it. We've been talking about it all year, but honestly, the not being home and not being able to list consistently and not being able to work consistently has not slowed down since December for either one of us. So I will say that my sales are down across the board about 35%, 40% from last year. It's abysmal, really. I should not be teaching about reselling, and my business is just terrible. Let's be fair. Thanks for the hair stuff, the hair comments. For whatever reason, my hair color has faded much quicker this time than last, and I had not had time to go get my hair did again. So I did some purple on the ends where it was fading, so I look like I got some fresh color for our little our event this week. Those of you guys restated threads, and Laura, you guys in the furnace of Florida. I'm sorry. We're kind of in the furnace of Las Vegas, although I'm not going to say too much because, to be fair, as Crystal and Corey who are in the chat,
that we're here, it hasn't been that bad yet. It's like only like in the low 90s today.
It's almost July and we haven't hit 100 yet. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, our listing has not been consistent, but we're trying to. I don't know. I think we have this trip this week, and then we're pretty much home for a while, I think. So we can kind of get more into a consistent routine. I will say, like, my eBay is awful. I looked at my last 30 days. I had 2 days in the last 31 days, 2 days that were over $200, like really bad. But
in my last 31 days, I've had like 5 0 days on eBay. 0 days with 4,500 listings, everything on sale and promoted. Are you kidding me?
My Etsy, for some reason, has been really regular, like really consistent this last week or so. So that's been nice because, like he has Poshmark, which seems to be doing pretty well week to week.
Posh is doing fine. So, Etsy shit the bed, and so did eBay. So it is
what it is. But one of the things we did this week is we actually went to the bins 3 days. Vikki needs to be getting more regular inventory.
I did just hire another person. She just started. I am hopeful that it will be the answer to everything that I've needed. She is a reseller as well, even though she's relatively new to it. So that makes all the difference, honestly. Having someone that is already a reseller that understands the programming and the software and how to do a basic listing and take photos is ideal. So even though I cannot afford to have another employee right now, technically, because my sales are so bad, I'm going to do it. I know that I am sacrificing and putting money into my business in order to help it grow. I know that it's going to hurt for the first couple of months.
True.
So I'm crossing my fingers. that it works out well.
But like, here's the thing. So she needs to source more regularly to be able to actually like send that stuff off to be processed and photographed and listed into drafts. And so this week we actually went to the bins 3 times. And I think every time you filled the entire cart.
Yeah.
And we both got some good stuff. Like, you watched my 5-day challenge. Some of the days I kind of struggled to even get my 10 items. This week, I think over 3 days, I got like 46 items. And it was all like definitely some basic stuff, some bread and butter. But every day I got something really cool. And it's like I spent less than $75 and I've got enough stuff to list for the week, because I don't do like major listings. I think if I can do 40 items a week, I'm in a pretty good spot. But if we can keep that up, like once we get back from this trip, if we can do that like every week, hit the bins 3 days, I feel like that can go really well. Like that can work for us.
I spent about $250 on my 3 days. We all know I buy a lot more stuff. However, I did purchase well over 100 items in those days. So, and some of them quite heavy, and blankets and things like that. So, you know, I list all the blankets and the hard goods and things like that. And then my intention is to have Crystal and this other new person do all the clothing for me and photographs of the clothing and stuff like that. So my goal is to have 75 to 100 drafts done weekly by my new employee, as many as possible by Crystal for as long as she stays with me. And, you know, I'll do the rest. So the goal is to do 20 to 25 listings a day, with the combination of having pre-made drafts and ones that I do myself.
Yeah. Hey, Sally's checking in from the Netherlands.
Hey, Sally. And again, doing like the, you know, not only just buying the stuff, but I do wash everything. We do process everything. We do have to, you know, do all the shipping and do the photographs of all the hard goods and things like that. So it's in order to put as much out as possible.
Yeah.
You know.
I think you're going to see a big difference, because I feel like the last time you were like bringing in a lot of volume, consistently getting stuff listed, was when you were getting that stuff here in town, where you were paying like $7 a piece or something like that, $4 a piece, but it was all very kind of mediocre, and you knew that, and so you were getting like a lot of like a high volume of stuff being listed, but it wasn't stuff that was that necessarily great. And I feel like when we go to the bins, every single time you are picking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces that are like $200 things or more.
Yeah.
And you're getting a lot of like really cool, unique stuff. And
I
so
do try.
try.
I mean, I have to say, as busy as our bins are, of course, we talk about them a lot, as do other resellers. We all know about them. You know, I still manage to find some great stuff. You know, there's enough out there for everybody. So, you know, hopefully, I will end up seeing, you know, some fruitful rewards from all the work and the money spent and all that kind of stuff. See, Turtle Bug says, I'm only down 5% on eBay this year. It's rough. But being only down 5%.
They didn't say down, only, they said down.
Oh, yeah. I am down about 5%. Yeah. Being down 5% is actually a win in this, for sure.
What's up, Joe Nicole?
Hey, Joe Nicole.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to see some changes coming here soon. And we just kind of have to stick it out and deal with it. But so this week, we had our friend Alexis was visiting, which was really fun, and we went to the bins with her. And it's funny because it was the first day we went to the bins, which was on Wednesday, I think. And I took some video, and we did a haul and everything. And Vikki was like, "Oh no, we got to wait to like release that video because we're not going to have anything to share on Sunday." Well, we ended up going 2 more days and got way more stuff. So I've already got it edited. I've got it uploaded, and I have it scheduled to release on this Wednesday on the 28th.
And that's just the stuff that we found from that flip.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the stuff we're showing you today is a mixture of stuff we found on the last 2 days that we went to the bins, which was Friday and yesterday. We have a whole video that's coming out on Wednesday that's just from on Wednesday when we went. And we both got a lot of really great stuff. So it's a full video just there. So for those of you guys who are liking that format and liking us doing the hauls, there's another one coming up for you. Also, like I said, ticket sales for the Boss Reseller Remix are going to be going live Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time to noon Eastern. And so Friday, I think it's going to be in Phoenix with Teresa. Friday, I'll actually upload a short little video giving info about the tickets and stuff like that. But everything's already up on the site. It's just you won't be able to actually purchase them, but you can go look at it if you want to. But we'll do a little video on Friday, just kind of get into the details a little bit
and
more.
a few of our speakers and people that a lot of people that have been are actually going to be at camp listing parties. So maybe we'll do a little, have a couple of our friends and do a fun little video.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm gonna be.
Oh, you're the director?
Well, no, so I'm the one that does all of the stuff on Instagram, and you best believe it, I'm gonna be grabbing some reels, some testimonials, because I'm like, I need content. I need some good, fresh content. So I will definitely be doing that this week. I'm pretty excited about it, about all the people that we get to see. But anyway, stay tuned for that on Friday. And of course, seriously, Saturday, it's going to be awesome.
Exactly. Paula, maybe pastimes. Paula's
my
in the chat.
goodness.
I feel like I haven't seen that face in forever. She's so busy on the whatnot. I keep getting these notifications. Maybe pastimes is live. And I can never watch. It's always like in the middle of the day when I'm doing something. I'm gonna just want to address really quickly. Turtlebug asked, what about flipping furniture? So furniture is actually something that could be very easy to flip here in Las Vegas. I will say there's a couple of reasons why I don't want to do that. A, I don't have any more time in my life to add another revenue stream. I just don't. B, I do not have the space. We have a 3-car garage and all of the bays are full of inventory. I do not have the space to bring furniture in to hold on to it in order to sell it. And 3, the other reason why is I hate people. I don't want to deal with people coming to my house to pick stuff up ever. I don't do Facebook Marketplace or any of those because of that reason. I've done it. Been there, done that. No more. I don't want people coming to my house. I'm not going to meet people. It takes too much time. There's too much flaky bullshit. Good for you if you want to go do it. It's not my jam. I don't have any more hours in my life.
Okay, so Jen P says, I travel to Portland, Oregon several times a year. How are the bins in Portland? Any others in Oregon I should visit? So I've only ever gone to the bins in, I think it was like one of the just outside of Portland. And it was super busy. There's definitely a lot of competition in the Portland area. I think there's like 2 or 3 different bins locations up there. There's a lot of competition. There are a lot of just thrifty people and people who love secondhand clothing and things like that. But then also there's a ton of resellers.
But there's definitely
it's different. It is a different game in Portland. That was a few years ago. I can only imagine what it's like now with how things have changed, especially with the T-shirt bros. But when I lived in Oregon, my go-to was in Salem, the Salem bins. Now, at the time when I started, it was like 2016. And so the whole, a lot of the men's streetwear, the stuff that I buy, like vintage, was not as people there. I was one of the only people grabbing that kind of stuff. So it was different. But the biggest thing is if it's a direct donation site, then that's when you're in the money. And all the Portland and all the Salem, Oregon, all that stuff, it's all a direct donation site. They also get the stuff that's been sitting out at the stores. But as long as your bins does direct donations and they're pretty good about turning over the bins regularly,
and
it's going to be a good spot.
Because at least, here's the thing. At least in Vegas, we are a direct donation spot, and they rotate that. They rotate whether they're putting out floor crap that had never sold on the floor versus direct donation stuff. And while I find items in both things, obviously the stuff that has not already been picked over and hasn't been sitting on a rack or a shelf for months at a time is way better to dig through, right? You're occasionally going to find some direct donation sites.
So definitely, because we've been to bins before where they weren't a direct donation site, or they also didn't rotate very quickly. It was like hours before they put out a new row. And that's just awful, but you will definitely not have that problem. So if you want to throw down, definitely just check out the Portland ones. But I would say check out the Salem one because it's pretty. Now
I see Jay in the chat there. By the way, welcome to Las Vegas. Flippin' Jaybird. Jay just moved to Las Vegas a couple of months ago. I haven't been able to see her yet. We met at the Lost Reseller Remix. So welcome to Vegas. I promise I'm going to have a meetup at some point soon so that you can meet the rest of the Vegas community. I know you know some people already. Are you from Portland? I'm seeing there. I don't know where you lived before you moved here.
No, she's talking. Are you talking about the Portland one?
Okay, a couple of things up. She was talking about the Portland one. So
I haven't been there anytime recently. So, but I would imagine it's still pretty cray. But also you got to think about who's donating and stuff like that. And man, Portland, fashion and stuff like that, you're going to find all kinds of great stuff.
Yeah. Portland is definitely cutting edge.
Okay, so you looked at Portland and you.
Okay, then that makes sense. Okay.
Okay, so I guess that's everything we have to say about that. Is there anything else that we need to cover before we get into our show?
No. You guys keep an eye out. Definitely keep an eye out for tickets to go on sale next Saturday for the Boss Reseller Remix. I know that so many of you guys have already messaged and commented and said, I've already booked my room. I'm definitely going. I mean, great. We're super excited for everybody to come again. We do have some new things happening this year. Make sure that you pay attention. We're going to talk about them all, obviously, ad nauseum until October. Sorry about it, but not really. It's what we do. We put a lot of work into it, so you have to listen.
Well, and and this year we have a fully interactive, live streamed virtual ticket. So for any of you who really want to be a part of it, but you can't travel or you can't afford to buy an in-person ticket for whatever reason, the virtual is definitely going to be the way to go. And when we put out our video on Friday, we're also going to be giving out a discount code just for virtual tickets. So it's going to be that. I think that's going to be the biggest change this year is the virtual experience for sure. But the in-person event is going to be bigger and better than ever. So, okay, let's get into the show. As usual, it breaks down to 3 parts. The first part, we look at our numbers for the last week. The good, the bad, the real ugly. Break it down, fees and all that, cost of goods, most importantly. Middle part of the show, we look at some sales highlights. We've been here for 3 weeks, so we actually pick some of our favorite stuff that we've sold over the last 3 weeks.
I did. Mine's all from the last week.
You asked me.
I know, sorry. I forgot.
Ridiculous. You still have some good sales in the last week. And then the last part of our show is our haul. So, of course, that's going to be for the last 2 days, Friday and Saturday at the bins. You guys can see all the sweet stuff that we picked up.
Oh, so Sandy, Miss Sandy Pratt says, Jay did a video with Mikey Bags of Money. I have not watched any of his videos in a while. Now that I know that you're in the last one, I'm going to have to go check it out. Unfortunately, we are not driving tomorrow, or maybe it's unfortunately only because I don't have time to kill watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts, that's what I usually try to do that. We are actually flying because we are so busy. We have so much to do. I did not want to waste 2.5 days driving back and forth to and from Phoenix. It takes about between 5 and 6 hours with no stops. So it is what it is. So we're flying just so we can get in and out easier and faster.
Yep, pretty much. Okay, let's go ahead and let me share the screen here. We can start talking numbers. All right, so this is for my last week. 17 eBay orders, 10 Etsy, nothing Instagram private, 6 grilled McCurry, and what? Depop? What? Yes, indeed. I had 1 Depop sale, you guys. I'm currently moving all my stuff over to Depop now that they have 8 photos that they allow there. I think I have a little over 600 listings on there, so I want to get up to I think I've got like a good 15 to 1,800 things to move over there. And so 33 total outgoing orders. eBay did not quite make it to 1,000. eBay, why do you hate me so much? Etsy, even though I did less than eBay on Etsy, I feel like Etsy has been definitely more consistent. And I had 3 Etsy sales today. It was weird.
And I have not had an Etsy sale in a
well, I haven't had a Poshmark sale.
You don't sell on Poshmark.
I'm just saying. Anyway, grilled McCurry Depop, I'm at $454. My total gross sales just squeaked over the $2,000 line. I'm hoping to see that go up for sure. But again, got to remind you guys, because of how sales have been, I know for me personally, I have completely shifted how I source. I'm doing almost all of my sourcing at the bins. And so my costs have dropped drastically. So really, it's not as bad as it seems. Shipping $99.83, and you can see all the fees broken down there. I just kind of threw Depop in with the grilled McCurry because I think they're pretty comparable. Cost of goods $180. My net total sales $1,503.06. My gross average sale price $60.89. Meh. I like to hit 70. I think a lot of that is because I had all these Golden Knights, Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Cup towels from when they were in the playoffs in 2018, and then they just won. So I've sold like 6 of those in the last week, but like literally for $10 a piece because I picked them up so cheap. So definitely brought down my average sale price there. But my net average sale price $45.55. So all in all, I'm going to go with a meh. but I am feeling hopeful about moving forward. I'm excited about this new sourcing we're doing, going and getting in the bins and shoving our way in and punching people and keeping
Kicking and punching
and keeping Vikki from getting into too many fights.
So you guys don't even know.
You don't even know.
We didn't even talk about my fight.
There's no point. All right, what do you got going on?
Okay, so I didn't do any better than you did, actually. What did I beat you by $5? 23 orders on eBay, 3 on Etsy, and they were all about a week ago. 15 on Poshmark. As I said, Poshmark is still doing pretty good for me. So for whatever reason, Posh is working. 3 on Mercari for a total of 44 outgoing orders. eBay 970. I didn't even hit 1,000 on eBay, guys.
Awesome. Sad life.
It's got real far down from the 4,000 I used to be hitting every week. 168 on Etsy, also awful. Poshmark 765. That's actually a good amount for Posh. Anything over $500 a week on Posh, I'm very happy with. I'd like to average $2,000 to $3,000 a month on Posh, and I've been doing that all year. Posh is actually consistent, if not grown, since last year for me. I don't really know why, but it is. Yes, I don't do any more work on that than anywhere else. I'm still using the same bot.
I feel like you've got better stuff going up, though. Like your women's vintage, you've got more quality pieces. Just think there was a huge player last year where you were just putting up all of that.
That was 2 years ago.
Whatever, same thing.
Anyway, so my total for the week, just over 2,000, just like Katy. Horrible. Shipping is always higher. I do have heavier items. And so you see the breakdown of all the fees. My cost of goods is always low. My cost of goods has always been and will always be low because I am cheap as F. So I have been getting the majority of my inventory from the bins for the past couple of years now, and you guys know that. So my cost of goods is low. My total net sales, just over $1,400 for the week. That's not cool. My gross average sale price, I do like to keep between 50 and 60. That's pretty low because I've been taking.
Mad if it goes over 60?
No. Minimum 50 to 60. I will say I do. I've been taking a lot more offers, as I'm sure a lot of you have, just trying to push things through, just trying to sell things. I aggressively send offers, and I've been accepting really minimal offers that I never would have accepted before. I'm taking those $10, $15, $20 offers on items that I have listed at $50 because I know that no matter what, I'm not losing money on it, and I'm just trying to keep the money flowing through. So I'm not a fan of it, but right now you do what you got to do, right? It's all about adapting and changing your business model to go with whatever's happening right now. And
well, that definitely helps me a lot too, because before I was paying up a lot for stuff, and so if I know I paid $50 for something, it really does limit my ability to be like, oh, I'm going to take a low offers to move this thing out.
Yeah, and I've paid $50 for nothing. So
you've done it before. Don't you lie.
Occasionally.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big difference, and things are changing. You know what? We're just going to keep going with it. That's why I'm doing my Depop. Yeah, I know. Angel was having a hard time spelling Depop, or his spell check was having a hard time. But let me tell you, like I had an offer for that item that I sold, so I sold it. And then I had another offer that I accepted, and nothing ever happened. So I'm just now, so far, I'm 1 for 2. So I don't necessarily know how bad it is on the Depop as far as like people making offers.
It's pretty bad once they allowed offers, it's pretty bad. But regardless, anyway, I forgot what I was just going to say.
I don't know. Never mind. Real important.
Yeah, totally important. I don't remember.
All right, want to go ahead and get into our sales highlights for the week, or for me the last 3 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I have one thing that was 1 week ago.
Yeah, but you got some cool stuff.
Maybe 2.
Tell us what you got.
So this is a bins find. I always pick up these Asian kimono style bathrobes. They're usually satin. Sometimes they have embroidery or a jacquard on them. The more heavy the embroidery, the more money you can usually ask for them. This one is a pretty basic one. I think I probably paid $2, maybe not even that, because it's usually under £1. They're very lightweight. You can tell that the tag is vintage. So this is probably from the late 50s to the early 60s, but because it's not an American-made label, it's a little bit harder for me to date. But just based on the aesthetics of it, that's probably what it was from. It did sell to an international buyer. It sold at the sale price of $97 and change. buyer did pay shipping, so I made about $10 on the international shipping by using Pirate Ship and using their simple export rate. So not a bad return on $2. That was a pretty good one. I've had it listed for a while, though. I want to say probably 6 months or so.
All right. So I think this was the first thing that sold my biz challenge last week. And I've been picking up, if I see like a tote bag that I think is interesting, I've been picking it up because they do sell. This is a really cute one. It's a little wrinkly because I washed it because it had some like stains on it.
That's what happens.
It came clean, but whatever. Yeah. So, but this is really cool. It says Royal Dutch Airlines, just like a really cool bag. And so I listed it, and somebody made an offer, but they were located in like, I feel like it was like the Netherlands or something like that. And so I was like, oh, sweet, I'll take $20. So I had listed at $34.99. I'm like, I'll take $20 because it's, I'm going to make more money from the shipping, whatever. So I accepted, and then when they paid, it was a U.S. address, and I was like, dang, damn it. So I went ahead and I canceled due to address. I canceled because of with a problem with address. And then I let them know. I relisted it, and I let them know the reason I accepted that was because it was an international sale, and you have to pay for shipping on that. And for domestic, you don't. And so I basically told them, I will sell it to you, but I'm not going to do any less than $30. And so they made the offer for $30, sale it through, and I shipped it out to them. But just something like this, it's like if you see like tote bags are big. I don't know if they're big right now. Obviously, I'm just getting into the tote bag game, you guys.
There's a tote bag game.
I can't tell you that this is some kind of like trend. All I know is that tote bags are put up for full. So there you go. That's what I got to tell you.
All right, fair enough. This actually I picked up when Danica was with us. I'm pretty sure Danica grabbed it actually and handed it to me and said,
oh, yeah,
you should sell this because she wasn't going to fly home with it. I would have picked it up had I seen it, to be fair. But just these vintage printers drawers, people use them in kind of that country aesthetic in their house. They put little smalls in them to display them. They hang them on the wall. And you can get various prices for them. They're all different types of sizes and configurations inside. This particular one, for what you see there, $101.36, but you can see them as cheap as $40 or $50. So it really does depend on what a buyer is looking for and who finds it. I expected that I was going to have this listed higher. They tend to sell really well in the fall and around Christmas time. So I just didn't want to race to the bottom with the price, but I would have accepted a lower price. As a matter of fact, Lori, this is not a pain to ship because it's not that big. It's going to go in one of those flat boxes. You know what kind of box I'm going to put it in is the box that shipping supplies come in from eBay, because I have the skinny boxes that are kind of longer. That's what I'm going to put it in. And I'll probably have to cut it down because it might be a little too wide. So it's not too bad. It's not very heavy. It's maybe weighs 2 pounds. It's just a little bit bigger than you'd think. So anyway,
Lori says that her sister just got hers for $15.
Yeah, see, and there are prices everywhere. Like I said, you can buy them for $40 and change online, but as you guys, if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it, right?
Yep,
so
absolutely.
I priced it high. So I probably paid $5 for it at the bins by weight.
All right, next up, I've got I like showing stuff where I'm like, this is, even though it's not a huge sale, I have a story that goes along with it. So this shirt, I'm pretty sure I got it at the bins. It had like a big yellow stain on the front of it. I had set it aside with like a stack of other stuff that I'd gotten, and I'd gone through it a few times and been like, should I get rid of this? Should I try and bleach it? I don't know. And I was pretty much had already decided I was going to get rid of it. And then finally I was like, whatever, I'm going to throw it in with the rest of the stuff to be bleached. The stain came out. I listed it. I still was kind of like, meh, I don't know. I mean, it's got a cool graphic on the back. Yeah, it's got a cool graphic.
Some fishing dude bought that.
Yeah, but it's got a cool graphic on the back and everything, but it's not like super old or anything. Sometime in like the 2000s. So I listed it, and it sold the next day, guys. Like, I swear this happens all the time. Something that I pick up and then I regret picking it up, and then I go back and forth about whether I should even list it, and then I list it and I swear it sells faster than anything else. I don't know. Weird. But I mean, it is cool. A cool fishy shirt for sure.
I mean, if you're into fish.
I actually, one of my sales on Etsy today was another fishing shirt. But it was like an older one. All right, next up for you.
All right, so I did show this on my Instagram page a couple weeks ago when it sold. This was one of a couple of items that sold about 2 weeks ago. So please ignore if you've already seen this. I picked this up at the bins when I was with. Did I talk about this in our last show? I don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
I think it sold after that. Anyway, I picked this up at the bins in Colorado when I was with Kristen, the Rural Squirrel, and Liz. Okay, and it had a little damage in the corner. It's pretty heavy for the size. It's very tiny. It's like 3x3 square. But it has some heft to it. So when I grabbed it out of the bins, it probably weighs close to 2 pounds for the size. It looks like it's dense. This is what it sold for, and it sold on eBay fairly quickly. It also is one of the highest priced sales for this particular Tinkerbell one.
That's awesome.
I will say keep an eye out for these. They're definitely a bolo because there are certain ones, for example, like the Tiki Room one, that sell for over $1,500. So if you find these, grab it. I didn't know if it worked. It's got a little light inside. I didn't know if it worked before I bought it. It does now. You can see it kind of lights it up. It's got a little chip in one of the corners in the back. I did disclose that. However, that's a terrible picture. Shut up. This is what happens when I take my own pictures. But I mean, it sold pretty quickly, and it really did sell for one of the highest prices of these Tinkerbell ones. It's the highest price example. Yeah. I just expected, again, I wasn't racing to the bottom on it. I didn't have any money into it really, but I knew it would sell well. So people tend to buy these types of things, especially around the holidays, as gifts for collectors. So I expected that the cheaper ones would fly off first, and I would sell mine later in the year, and I would have been okay with that too. But it sold faster than I expected.
So I think I showed this in the last show I did with you, or maybe I showed. Maybe you showed it all. Maybe it was in one of my for my challenges or something like that. I don't remember now, guys. I apologize. I think it was our last haul, wasn't it? Our last. See, now I don't remember because we do all these other videos. Yeah, the last haul video that we did. And go source something or whatever. Let's go sourcing. This I picked it up. This was one of those things like, I'm not that excited about it, but I'm not going to pass it up because it's in good shape and it's got, this plane on it. It's interesting. And I was thinking, when I just glanced at it, I was thinking military, but this is actually just like an airliner. It's just this is like a commercial plane. Anyway, I listed it, got a couple offers, ended up selling it for $50, like within, I think, a day, 2 days max. When I listed it,
I think it was a day. I think it was the day after you listed it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just crazy how fast some stuff sells, and I have other stuff where I'm like, this stuff is so cool, and it's been sitting there for like over a year. So, but
never know.
But to me, something like this is like, okay, you're buying it at the bins. It's going to cost you like $2. Like, of course you got to pick it up because it's just no brainer. Just because it isn't poorly exciting, but whatever, make some money on it. Oh, this is a good one.
This is a good one. So I did take an offer on this. Now I did talk about this in our haul.
Yep.
I'm looking to figure out what I paid. Okay, offer was. Mind your business. Jesus. Anyway, so I took an offer on this, and I picked this up at the bins. This is Emilio Pucci, which is a designer most famously known for the 60s and 70s, really bright, almost Peter Marks style patterns and colors, and they're beautiful, beautiful. I have yet to find anything Pucci from the 60s or 70s.
Let's just say Pucci.
And but this I actually picked up just because it was an oversized, very nice quality sweater with some pretty colors. I had no idea it was a Pucci item until I brought it home. And I had no idea until I found the tag, which was very tiny, deep on the inside, not at the collar. So it actually sold for $475. I was quite happy to take that offer. I paid $2 for it at the bins. And Michelle, it's so pretty. It's not really even a dress. It's an oversized tunic top, although you could wear it with like tall boots and tights. It really could work with the 60s-esque vibe. It would definitely like cover your butt, but it's pretty short for a dress. Anyway, $475 from $2, and it wasn't listed that long, just a couple of months. I'm very pleased with that.
Crazy. Very nice. All right, next up, this shirt I got at, I'm pretty sure I got this at the bins. And I thought the graphic was cool, and then I realized like, oh, this is like a Saudi Arabia. At first, I thought it was a, what do you call it, like Desert Storm T-shirt. It's a lot of those Desert Storm shirts are like, I used to pick them up all the time because I thought they were cool, and I realized there were so many of them, they don't sell very well. And so when I saw this for a second, that's what I thought it was. But I realized this is actually one from the 80s. And it's just this interesting one from the King Abdul Aziz Air Force Base. Um, so I grabbed it, and it actually didn't last that long. I think I've only had it listed for like maybe a month, if that. And I sold it for 60. I sold it for $60. So what? I paid $1 for it. Not even $1. I doubt it even weighs 8 ounces. So just, I don't know. Military stuff is interesting because, like I said, a lot of times there might be a reason why something's not moving. So in the case of like the Desert Storm stuff, in like 1990, 91, 92, there were so many of them. So much of it. And I feel like a lot of those guys, I don't know if they just like had like T-shirt stands everywhere over there. They were like bringing home all these T-shirts because there's a lot of them,
and they're all at the bins.
They're all at the bins. Anyway, $60, pretty good deal.
This I actually didn't show this to show that it sold for a ton of money. It didn't, but it did sell for $45 plus $15 shipping, and it weighs about 3 pounds. It went to California, so it actually only cost me like $9 to ship. It's just to show that I even sell kids blankets, all different kinds of blankets, and they're worth picking up and they're worth listing. Precious Moments in general, as far as the figurines, are basically worthless these days. However, Precious Moments linens and certain Precious Moments types of items do have good value and collectible value. So I do pick them up. This is not the first time I've sold one like this, and look how cute. They're so cute. I used to collect the figurines when I was in the 80s and 90s until my 2-year-old daughter at the time yanked a corner curio cabinet down by the top and smashed every single one of them. So I have not had any since the 90s. I think I only had 2 survive that. But anyway, I still pick up stuff like this. I won't pick up figurines, but keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. It does sell.
Yeah, Lori, I'm definitely I've gotten back into loving the bins again, out of necessity. But now that I'm in it, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. So
yeah, I like that Katy does go with me, because as much as I would go to the bins by myself or with our friend Corey more frequently, I enjoy having Katy to go with me too. So I mean, Corey will still meet up with us there, of course, here and there, but I like not going by myself. It can be done by yourself. It's not difficult. I mean, I talk to a couple of people around me there, not many, most of them assholes, but I do talk to some people.
I don't mind going by myself, but
it's always more fun with someone else.
And it's always fun when we like run into somebody and we meet somebody new who like watches our show. Like we just met
Adriana. We met Adriana, who is who's a reseller here in town that watches our show, that we had met before. She was very sweet. So I invited her to our local group as well. I swear that I've met so many of our local resellers is out locally. I will talk to them. If you've watched our channel, and if you watch our channel and you happen to be somebody that's quiet and you would not normally comment in the chat or anything like that, if you see Katy and I out somewhere, please come and say hi. Yeah. It always flatters me to hear that somebody actually pays attention to this little channel. And I'm happy to meet you. And I would love to get you involved in our local group. That's what we did with Jody and everyone else that we've created this meetup group with local sellers. It's all word of mouth, and it's all because people, meet each other locally. And it's a lot of fun. Even if we don't get together as often as we probably would like to, having a local meetup and local people to hang out with or source with, or to go and do YouTube videos with Jay, like that's important. It means a lot to have local friends that do what you do.
All right, next up for me, this was a bins find. I always like to pick up like the fraternity, sorority stuff. It doesn't always necessarily sell super quickly, but it's definitely something, people are nostalgic for that time. And I grabbed this hoodie at the bins. I would have anyway, but I also thought it was a bonus that it has the kind of like Burberry plaid. Yeah, Burberry plaid thing going on. Cool.
Nova check, as they call it.
Oh, I didn't have that in there. But anyway, somebody made an offer for $70. I sold this hoodie for $70. Let me show you the tag. It's a Gildan tag. That's like a 90s
90s,
Y2K
made in Mexico.
pullover hoodie, $70, you guys. And I paid, I mean, this is probably a little over a pound. So maybe I paid $2.50 for it. But what a sweet deal, man.
And yes, Michelle, we are going to see you tomorrow. I just got a message from one of our chat groups with our friends that Ryan and Adam and Hallie and our friend Angie is in, and Angie's like, all right, I'm heading there. I didn't know she was coming to Phoenix either.
Very exciting.
Yeah, we get to see a lot of our friends at this event, and I'm very excited about it. Being able to attend as a spectator, we're sponsors, boss sponsoring the event, and we're both speaking separately. But also just going and not having all the pressure of it being your event is kind of it's kind of fun. So
I don't have to worry about anything until Wednesday when I speak.
I speak twice on Tuesday. So
all right. Okay. Next up for you. Hey guys, remember this?
Did I talk? I think I did.
Yeah, you got it.
I showed it. So I got this in Rhode Island when we were just there, and I got this because I needed an extra bag to bring onto the plane or check to put some of my stuff in. We were just overweight. I paid $5.99 or maybe $4.99 at the Stavers in Rhode Island, and I listed it and sold it within 2 days of listing. This was an offer for $115. I think I'd listed it at $150 or whatever. Stole some stock photos, but yeah, $115.
Very, very cool.
I mean, it flipped within 2 days. It cost me $5 to bring it home or $6 to bring it home, and then sold it, flipped it for that kind of profit in 4 days. I mean, and I knew nothing about this brand. Let me just tell you, it just actually was the right size and basic. And I was like, oh, it feels kind of nice.
Oh, also, I don't know if this got answered in the chat because I wasn't paying attention, but somebody had said something about they were worried they missed out on the reseller relaxation cruise. You can still definitely do it. It's just going to be a matter of like what pricing you're going to get. There was like a certain window to get prices, but the link is still down below for the Facebook group. Lori's in the chat. She can answer any questions there, but go to the link to the Facebook group down below. You definitely have not missed out on it. It's not until next February. Most cruise ships you can get a room all the way up to close to right when it happens.
Just a few days before. Now we do have a couple of cabins still reserved at our discount price. But even if you happen to miss that discount price, if you really want to come, you're more than welcome to come, and you won't get as good of a deal.
Yeah,
but maybe you will if you're somebody that already sails on that cruise line. You may get deals that are even better than we can get you as our group deal.
Oh yeah, so, Lori says we still have 2 inside cabins and 1 balcony at the group rate. So I'm sorry, I didn't see who had said that they missed it. They were worried they missed the boat, quote unquote.
Yeah, you totally did.
Just make sure that you reach out to Lori. Contact
Lori, and you know what? You can reserve it for a very small deposit that is almost fully refundable. I think you lose $50. I think it is, or $70 if you decide to cancel, and you can cancel all up until like a couple of weeks before.
Well, and you have all the way to like February 1st to pay off the remaining balance.
So if you are interested, it's definitely worth putting a deposit down. It's a very low risk deposit. You lose under $100 if you cancel. And that's just the fees that that the ship keeps for canceling. So.
But yeah, definitely. I'm sure Lori will share her contact info here. But join the Facebook group down below because it's going to make it easier for you to communicate and be a part of the group and everything like that. You don't have to have already purchased or reserved anything to be in the group. It's just for people who are interested or who are going. You don't have to already have signed up for it. So, all right. So.
Yeah, Lori, feel free to put your email in the chat if it allows you to. I'm not sure if it will, but yeah, if you want to, no problem. So and again, it really is. It's not a content cruise. It's just a cruise that Lori helped us get a discount. We like to go on cruises, and a lot of other people seem to as well. We just wanted our friends to come with us if you want to. And we have a lot of people coming, and I think we have 40 some odd people that are coming, not as many cabins, a lot of double occupancy.
That's so fun.
But we also have a handful of friends that are coming that do not have, that are not resellers. They're just coming to hang out with us.
So if you want a friend to come, but they're not a reseller, then totally. It's not going to be, I'm sure we're going to talk about reselling because that's what we do when we get together, but it's not like any kind of organized thing. It's really just about having fun and hanging out with some peeps. Yep, indeed. All right, back to this. Guys, here's my Tommy Bahama. This is the one I just got like a couple weeks ago. I had, talked about how, Tommy Bahama overall doesn't necessarily sell for a ton. The main ones that you really want to get are the ones that have the huge embroidery on the back. This one does
especially
not.
the tiki ones.
Yeah, so this one does not, but I did notice it had like this tag, this 25 years of paradise. Now, I'm not a Tommy Bahama expert by any means at all, but I noticed that it had this tag, so I looked it up, and I was able to find like the exact like name of this print, and I saw that there was another print from the same line that sold for a ton. And when I found this one on eBay, they weren't using the name of the print, and they were selling it for too low, or it had sold for too low. So I just went off of like how the other one went for a lot. And I'm like, there's got to be somebody who pays attention to this crap and like actually specific ones from this particular line. And so I listed it for $97.99, and I really only had it listed for a couple of weeks, maybe, you guys. And I got an offer for $75, and I was like, heck yeah, use Tommy Bahama for $75.
And it cost you like $1.
What?
Yeah.
So I was pretty stoked about that. Yeah, it's always cool when you can find the name of the exact print so that you can hopefully capitalize on that. All right, next up for you.
This one did sell a little more than a week ago. I also picked this up in Colorado at the bins. Also, when I was with Kristen and Liz. This was just cool because it was just this vintage repeat logo of the University of Wyoming. It had like this raw edge. Everybody has seen these like flannel blankets that have, it's almost like a picnic blanket.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just this, it felt like it was dead stock, but it had, because it was really crispy, it's still folded, but it did have some soiling on it, probably from the bins. So I washed it, so I didn't sell it as new. But it really was unused. It's in really great shape. So this sold $130 on the Poshmark.
On the Poshmark.
On the Poshmark.
I haven't sold all of my 2 blankets yet. My 2 blankets I got during my 5-day bins challenge. So it's probably what I get for buying blankets while Vikki was gone. Yeah. But you know what? Why can't you be happy for me? Nobody would have gotten them. Fine. Wouldn't you rather I have them?
Well, back before
you were not there.
Infringing on my bins rights.
You were not there. It's better that I get it than some nobody.
You would have gotten them and given them to me, but now we don't.
No way, man. Back off. I still give you good stuff. I gave you some real good stuff yesterday. How dare you?
So at least at the bins in Colorado, linens prices are 69 cents a pound. So I probably paid $2 for this.
Nice. Okay. Next up, my Etsy. Man, my Etsy, I feel like my sweet spot for my Etsy or my stuff that I price is $69.99. So when they're on sale, it's $52.99, because that is like a really good price point on Etsy for me anyway. I definitely still sell stuff from the 40s and stuff higher. But I would say my most common price point is the $62.99, and jeans have been selling for me. I'm all about the no pants. You guys know I swore off selling pants years ago.
Swore off pants.
I swore off selling pants.
She swore off selling them or wearing them.
Well, really. To be fair, like right now, I took a shower today. I did my hair. I put my makeup on, and then I put my pajama bottoms right back on, because to me, pajama pants with a nice loosey-goosey waistline, that is not, I don't consider that pants, because to me, pants are like stiff. You gotta, like jeans.
So buttons and zippers and things.
But I definitely swore off buying and selling pants, because taking pictures of them is in the butt. But I was inspired,
as Robin says, wee.
Well, but I was inspired by Crystal's picture taking, and I think mine will turn out pretty good. But still, it's a pain because I got to.
The difference is you don't have the buttons.
You should be able to see it. Why is
it not quite as straight? I mean, I'm just going to give you the critique.
Why does it have to be buttons?
When Crystal does them, they are buttoned and zippered, and
I want you to be able to see its zipper.
Straightens out the legs. Look at your first picture. Your legs are all wrinkly and shit. She makes it look very nice. So
how dare you
have some?
So tell me about all the jeans you've been selling.
I have not been selling jeans.
Yeah. Aha! Aha! Interesting. And yet this is like my 4th pair of Levi's I've sold in the last few weeks. Interesting. Okay. Anyway.
I haven't been selling anything, to be fair. So the fact that I haven't sold jeans isn't that great.
I think
it's not that revealing.
I think my pictures look very good. And anyway, $62.99. And I don't know, jeans. Maybe I could pay $3 for them. All right, next up for you, sassafras.
I honestly don't remember where I got this. I think this was also a bins find. I'm pretty sure because I didn't recall buying it from anywhere else. So I don't know if it was a bins find in here or in Colorado, but it was a bins find. This sold fairly quickly. It sold on, it was a beautiful dress. I mean, a lot of my vintage items are absolutely beautiful that sit forever. So who the hell knows what people like or why anymore? I don't really pretend to understand it. But this actually sold, this would be an early 60s style. It's almost that fit and flare style from the 50s. However, it has the rear zipper and has the colorway that you would start seeing in the 60s as far as florals and pinks and greens and blues. It's not quite as bright or loud as you would see late 60s, early 70s. But this is a good representation of the 50s into 60s style as far as the fitted waist with the flared skirt, but also with more of a bold print that you'd see going into the 70s, the late 70s, or in 60s. Sorry. So this is just a beautiful dress. I paid at most $2 or $3 for it. It sold on Poshmark for $130.
Wow.
The colorway reminds me very much of the Brady Bunch. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's someone on the show that wore something very similar. It just screams Brady Bunch to me.
Well, the colors definitely,
yeah. It's a pretty one. So.
All right. Next up, I don't know if Vicki's gonna be able to handle this. Jeans. These are the Anchor Blue jeans, which I think
when Kmart brand.
When I asked Vikki about them, she's like, "Nah, if I were worth picking up." And I said, "You know what? I don't care what you say. I'm doing what I want, and I'm buying them." And I had bought 2 pairs, and I already sold the other pair, and I think for the same price as this pair, $89.99, you guys, for these. Now, I've seen other Anchor Blue jeans at the bins. Just saw some yesterday, and I did not pick them up. I picked these up particularly because of the old baggy. I had looked them up and I saw that they did sell. I think I'm definitely on the higher side of the price point, but that apparently is the beauty of Etsy, is that people do want to pay $90 apparently for Kmart jeans.
With the rips in the back.
Whole baggy wide leg thing is back. It's back, and people want them. And these are really nice jeans. It's just interesting, like $90 for some vintage Kmart jeans.
That probably cost $20 or maybe $30 30 years ago.
So that's all I have to say to Victoria.
Whatever.
Talking about how I photograph my jeans. Dang it.
So it's a very basic style leather biker jacket. As far as it's a no-name brand. The brand is International. This actually came from my buyout. You can tell from the photos that it's different. These are not my photos. This actually came from my buyout of a fellow reseller's closet. When she moved, I purchased all of her items and I transferred everything into List Perfectly. So if you are planning on buying or selling a large amount of your inventory, please talk to me Perfectly, because it actually is absolutely having that as a subscription for that. It's a huge selling point and buying point. So I paid on average $3 an item for all of the things that I purchased from her. So $3, and it sold for $135. This was an offer that I took on Poshmark, and I was happy to take it. I probably could have held out for more. These heavyweight biker jackets do tend to sell for a little bit more on Etsy, but right now I'm not turning down any good offers. That's a good offer.
Yep, absolutely.
He does have little legs. All right. Somebody cut him off at the knees.
Oh. All right, next up, I don't know if you guys remember when I got this t-shirt. So occasionally I will pay up for something more than I really think I should, but because I just love it so much and I want it in my inventory, I'm like, I don't care, I'm buying it anyway. So Jesse, Yesterday's Fits, had this probably like 6 months or so ago. It's been a while. And I'm sure a lot of it has to do with like how high I had it priced. But I mean, come on, look at the gorgeous graphics on this thing. This is the front. You've got Garfield. He's drinking some pizza there, and then the back. I just love it. This is such a cool T-shirt with amazing artwork on it. and I paid $60 for this, which is ridiculous.
Oh,
Like
it's
I should
totally
not,
ridiculous.
I should not have, and I knew it while I was buying it, but I did not care. It's kind of like when I bought that Pendleton cardigan. It was like sometimes I just pay too much, and then in the hopes that someday maybe I'll at least make my money back eventually. Well, you know what? Macari likes to just like Macari. I don't know. I feel like I'm in an abusive relationship with Macari. Macari tries to gaslight me, like it's like Macari ghosts me, and then all of a sudden just shows up and is like, "Here's $126." And I'm
Don't
like,
you love me again?
Don't you love? Yeah, and
Here's some
and
flowers.
tries to act like
here's some flowers. I won't do it again.
And then tries to act like nothing ever happened, and it's really weird. And then like the other day, I finally canceled my one shop thing because I was paying the $45 a month to. I was doing a trial run to see. I don't have Poshmark, so I don't need it for like sharing stuff. Whereas Vikki uses it for her Macari and her Poshmark, so it makes a little more sense to spend $45.
Yeah, I just use it for the bot services.
But that's what I'm saying for the bot services. But I'm only using it for Macari to delist and relist every 30, anything that's like older than 30 days. Well, I know that there's another service I can use that does the same thing for $15 a month. I don't know what it is. I haven't signed up for it yet.
Macari bot,
something like that. And so anyway, I canceled it like a week ago, and I've had the most sales I've had in forever on Macari. It's just weird, but whatever. But abusive relationship, I know, right? $60 and sold it for $126. So I actually did make money on this shirt. I don't regret. I didn't even regret before getting it because I just love it. It's like one of those shirts I'd be going through the inventory, look for something else, and I'd be like, "Oh, that shirt, it's so cute." So
ridiculous.
I'm just saying. Sometimes I do irrational things because they make me happy.
You do irrational things for rational reasons.
Yeah, somewhat rational reasons. I don't do it all the time, but there's occasionally things I'm like, I cannot not get that. So, all right, last one for you.
So this is just a vintage board game that I picked up at the bins as well. It was complete. I don't pick up all games, but board games, I think they only charge 75 cents at the bins for board games. So I do pick them up if it looks relatively complete. It's not like I'm sitting there counting pieces in the bins, but for 75 cents, I'm willing to take the risk. It was an older game. Not all older games are worth picking up. Just because it's old does not mean it's resellable, collectible, or wanted. But this happens to be one of those things. Usually military stuff. You know, if it's a board game or some type of game and it's military related, if it's older, it's generally collectible in some way. However, this game sells way cheaper on eBay. So this is the price that it sold for on Etsy. Just about $60 plus $14 in shipping.
Nice.
So, you know, I'm perfectly happy with that. It didn't take very long to sell, maybe a couple months. I'm very specific when I list board games, by the way. So
very nice. All right, last one for me. My only Depop sale so far.
Good one. Oh, I love this one.
Yeah, I really wanted to sell this for a lot more, but I got this back in the end of October when we were in Colorado. This was pulled up out of the depths of somebody's basement. Now I did a whole big, huge bulk buy from this guy. So as far as this was definitely one of the higher value pieces, but I kind of averaged all my costs out across all the stuff I got that whole week, which was, I think my average was like $6 or $7. I put down 20 for my cost for this just because I'm going to add a little more into it. Individually, it would have been a lot more. But whatever. I had it originally listed at 300. One of the things I'm doing as I'm moving stuff over to Depop is some stuff I've had for a lot longer. Maybe I've had reasonably priced. I am putting like lower prices on them than on my other platforms because I just want some stuff to move.
Yeah, men's black t-shirt in the title. Yeah, so Lori, she does create a title. That's what Depop does.
Depop doesn't have titles.
Depop doesn't show titles. It's really weird.
Yeah.
If you go to look at the Depop platform, it truncates everything, and that's what it does. It's just
when you fill out a listing, it's all you're doing is you pick like if it's a t-shirt, and then you fill in a description, which is this is my title down here, but it doesn't have a title spot. And then they pull from that and they just do, that's what they do. But when you look at Depop, I'll show you what happens when you're just on your app and you're looking at Depop. This is what it looks like. Okay. There aren't even titles.
It's
items. Literally there's no titles. There's no prices. This is just like the app view. I think it's a little bit better on
this. It's such a garbage site.
So it's literally just this. So really title doesn't matter. Now you can do searches and stuff. And I'm actually going to do a video of a search hack that I discovered. But I'm going to save that for later. Because it is, they don't have it set up to where you can search your own,
Those of you,
your own catalog, but I'm going to give the hack.
Yeah. Those of you that know me know that Olivia is one of my favorite artists of all time. I have a couple of prints, I read some signed artwork. This is not one of my favorite prints or photos at all, but in general, one of my favorite artists. I actually met her a couple of times and fangirled both times. So
see, and I love this because it's the model that she used for this piece of art was Linnea Quigley, who was in Return of the Living Dead, one of my favorite movies ever. And yeah, so that's it.
That's it.
Well, that's it for the t-shirt. This is my one and only sale so far on the Depop. So yeah. All right, let me here.
All right, pretty good. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, and we're about to get into our haul.
Let's get into our haul.
I think we're doing fast today.
Yeah,
guys, I still have to ship because we're getting on a plane tomorrow. We're leaving here at about 5.
Yeah,
we'll leave here about 5 in the morning to go to Phoenix for 4 days. I still have to ship my stuff that is sold since Friday.
Luckily, you're not selling anything.
Luckily, I'm not selling shit. So I really only have like 9 things to ship. So there's that. I have to pull a bunch of examples for my presentation. Bringing physical examples in one of my presentations. I have to write out the answers to my other presentation that I'm on a panel with other people, so I don't sound like a moron when I'm sitting up there. I need to have flashcards to refer to. What else do I still have to do? I still have to pack.
I still have to finish creating my PowerPoint for my presentation.
Okay, well, I did that already.
Well, let's be fair. You didn't do it. You outsourced it to Trisha's team to do it for you. I'm doing my own. So
well, I don't know how to use PowerPoint, so therefore they got it all in Word format with slide 1, add picture 1 and 2, slide 2, add picture 1 and 2. So, I mean, if I got somebody to do it for me, I'm going to use it.
I heard you.
But mine was done a while ago. Anyway, yeah, so I got like so much stuff to pack. Dana is going to be our house sitter for the next few days while we're gone. We figured we'd give Corey a break and go back to Dana for a bit. Poor Corey's spent most of the month of May living here.
Sure.
So Dana's coming for a few nights, 3 nights, but she's going to come tonight because we leave so early in the morning. So yeah,
I still have to ship. I still have to pack. I still have to pull stuff for because I'm doing mine's going to be on vintage t-shirts. So I'm actually going to bring some t-shirts for examples, and I also want to bring some t-shirts to wear, vintage t-shirts to wear throughout the week. Yeah, so we've got a lot to do, but that's okay. We got time.
I'm going to be teaching the title of my presentation. One of them is on branding and marketing, and that I was asked to be a part of a panel on that one. I don't know why, because I don't brand or market myself, but we do brand and market boss. So I'm going to be talking from that standpoint. And the other thing is my presentation is going to be on women's vintage clothing through the decades, 50s through 2000s, specific examples of what to look for and what kind of fashions are attributed to each decade. So I'm hoping that it will be informative for people that are interested in going. I hope that it is just one of the breakout sessions. I'm hoping that people will actually attend. I'm not talking to an empty room.
You just got people going.
So that makes me a little nervous.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I kind of like about our event is that it's all in one room so that, nobody ever feels like they're speaking to an empty audience. And that kind of thing makes me feel a little bit nervous that there's multiple things going on at once. Because I'm not the most interesting thing in the world or the most interesting person there. So, I don't know who's speaking at the same time as me.
Okay.
They may be far more interesting. Don't put me up against, Harry Tornado or something. Shit, I'll be talking to myself.
I don't think he's a breakout session. He's probably
that's true.
The main session. That's true. All right, go ahead and show us what you got the last couple of days.
All right, let's see. So I'll start with some hard goods, right? You guys tend to like when I do the hard goods. So I picked this up at the bins. Unfortunately, I can't get it to work, and it makes me sad because look how cute this little kitschy jewelry box is. Look, I'm going to show you the cover.
What is there to work?
Top. It is a music box jewelry box. So this looks like it's missing something, but it's not. It's mirrored, so it looks like it was missing something. It also looks like it could have had a ballerina there. Also does not have no space for that. But it's from Japan. It's not overwound. It just won't play. So I don't know. Makes me kind of sad. I'll probably still list it just because it's like just this got this super kitschy, cute design on it. So I will. I don't know what I'm going to sell it for. I mean, I probably paid $3 for it in weight. I don't know what I'm going to sell it. Aw, thanks, Linda. I saw you were on the list. I will
Thanks,
see
Linda
you.
Dean.
We will see you tomorrow. Anyway, so I don't know what to sell it for. Maybe like $40. It looks like something I would probably sell on Etsy. Who knows? This is also probably came from the same person's house or room.
Cute.
So this is a Sirocco. So this is kind of like it's made to look like wood. It's like a resin type plasticky product. Most popular in like mid-century stuff, not mid-century modern, mid-century like 60s, 70s, even into the early 80s. I actually have a couple of Sirocco pieces in our Hollywood Regency style bathroom downstairs. It's like usually gold looking. But this is, I'm going to show you what this copyright is 1943. It's just this oval frame with this will come out if you want to put something else in it, but it's a pretty frame. And it's Sirocco, it's Syroco. I'm going to see if that will focus. There you go.
I love the artwork.
I like it too. It's got a little hole in it though, so someone might not like it, but I'll probably list this for like $75. Let's see. Picked. Hold on, I'm stuck.
She's trapped.
I'm stuck on it. All right. I picked this up just because it was vintage and cool looking. I don't know if there's any desire for it, but you've ever seen the movie We Are Marshall? This is the Marshall herd. It's their symbol for the college team. It's just a luggage bag. It's like a folding, what do we call this? Garment bag. That was the word. Sorry. So I just got it because I had the cool logo on it. It's lightweight. I mean, it's not one of those teams that's super prolific when you're advertising. So there's not a ton of Marshall stuff out there, and there's nothing like this. I couldn't even find it in Google. This could have been, and it's vintage. This is probably 70s or 80s. This could have been for somebody that was on the team, and they had, maybe they carried their warm-up suit in it.
Who the heck knows?
I just thought it was cool. So let's see. This was from the bins yesterday. This is a vintage. Now, this is not a brand to pick up if it's anything that's been made recently. I will say that. But when it's vintage, it is still desirable and collectible. So this is vintage Etienne Agnès. So those of you that know, it's Etienne Aigner, I think.
Are you just like saying letters?
Aigner is the last name. So Etienne Agnès French company. And this is a vintage 1970s handbag or purse. So this would have been, it's in what they called oxblood. It's popular color. It's like a cognac or burgundy. And this has got like the horse bit type of thing. It even has a little mirror, little tortoiseshell mirror inside. So it's from the 70s. This particular,
the bins?
Yeah, I got it yesterday. This particular, it cost me maybe $2, maybe $3. But this particular style and the older oxblood stuff, they are loyal buyers, as Michelle said in the chat. So this is the type of stuff you want to pick up. This is really, really nicely, beautifully made leather work. It has cheapened out over the years, just like every other brand that started out as a really good brand that now outsourced, and it's just not as nicely made. But these are the type of bags that were like lifetime type bags, right? So this was someone's grandma had this or mom had this in their closet, and it's still filled with, with the tissue paper. I don't know if it's even been used.
How much you sell for?
I'll probably list it for like $125.
Crazy.
Let's see.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we went to the bins 3 days this week. Let's see. Friday, you processed most of your stuff. Mm-hmm. And then yesterday, I got everything washed and everything done, photographed half of it, finished photographing, got all the measurements this morning. So I'm already ready to list all of my 46 items I got this week. And you already have all your stuff processed.
Everything has been washed, folded, and ready to send off. I have about 75 to 80 items that are ready. And then another 30 or 40 that have been at least half photographed that are hard goods for me. And I think I have 2 blankets left to wash. So I've gotten all of that done already.
We want to put it to work.
Yeah, I want my stuff like listed fast. So,
hey. Good, great, fabulous. Just saying hello. Have a safe trip to Phoenix. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. If you are not following her, you should. Good, great, fabulous. You should follow her on Instagram. She's a very sweet local reseller that we met here in Las Vegas, and she's selling a lot of jewelry, and she's got some really cool finds and stuff. Nice. So that's what her tag is. Good, great, fabulous. If you're into jewelry, and she's got a YouTube channel too. I don't know if it's under the same name. Sorry. Feel free to plug yourself in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you very much. Yeah, we'll have a safe trip. I don't know if we'll survive the heat. We might have to get the pool or something.
I mean, I am bringing my bathing suit. Not that anybody wants to see that shit, but tough. It's the body I got, so it's what you're gonna deal with. But yeah, it's a little over 100 degrees there today. I'm sure it's going to be up over 100. And yes, it's a dry heat, just like Vegas. Although Phoenix is hotter than Vegas, always. So we'll see. It's only an hour flight though, so at least that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so speaking of good leather and good quality leather products, whatever I find good quality leather, I do try to pick it up at the bins, usually because you're paying for it by weight, even when it's heavy because it's good quality, it's still well worth the cost. Mm-hmm. So this probably cost me about $5. This is a vintage briefcase, and it's gorgeous, thick, full grain leather with some really, really heavy buckles. And the brand is not a brand I would have looked up. I just bought it because you can tell when something is, really nice quality. So this is original Ruitassin. It's a weird name. R-U-I.
Ratatouille?
Yeah, it's pretty much. R-U-I-T-E-R-T-A-S-S-E-N as in Nancy. So it's a really long name. I'm not so sure the name is worth a heck of a lot. However, when I looked it up by the brand when I got home quickly, is that the brand does sell pretty well. So I think that I should get about $100 for this as well.
Fancy.
So there's already photographed. Go over there. All right. What do I have here? This should be no surprise to most of you. I do love me some Mr. Christmas stuff. So this one, hold on at the bottom. This was also a condense. Unfortunately, it was just under 7 pounds, so I did have to pay by weight. So I did pay probably like $10 for this, $11 for it. But vintage 1992, this is just the holiday carousel with the animals. I was able to pull it out and test it to make sure it worked before I spent the money. I don't normally do that, but I will if it's a heavy thing, and I can do it easily there. So right now, if you look at comps, the comps are pretty low. Obviously, we're in the middle of the summer. However, I did list it and listed high, and this will probably sell for around $100 plus shipping come, fourth quarter. Maybe it'll sell faster on another platform. On eBay, probably not because there's enough of them listed. But I'll always pick up Mr. Christmas stuff. I'm not afraid of shipping heavy crap.
Yep.
So let me show you a few more. I think that's it for hard goods. And
that's pretty good.
And I mean, I did get some bread and butter stuff, some sheets and things like that. A couple other blankets. I did find a beater lock blanket, and I've got a Tupac blanket, a vintage Tupac blanket that I grabbed. So those types of things are my bread and butter, $60 to $75 items, and I'm cool with that. But
Michelle, 14 months? Come on.
All right, Michelle, come on now.
Like a few months, that's fine. 14, you've already missed a Christmas season. Come on.
I'm going to give you a goal to get that crap listed when you come back from Phoenix. Okay. So Katy actually found this for me. As you guys know, we've talked about this. I know other people have talked about it. 90s and Y2K is super popular again. One of those brands that is not a high-end brand and never will be a high-end brand that still exists, but was super popular in the 90s and Y2K especially is Mudd, M-U-D-D. Mudd and LEI. Those are two like mall brands that were super popular for kids. So this is a 90s denim jacket that has a bit of a peplum flare to it.
I like the style.
It's pretty cool. It's got some pockets on the side, but in the back, it looks looks like little jean pockets for your butt on the back of the jacket. Isn't
you
that
put
cute?
your little Nokia in there.
You can put your little flip phone back there. Maybe your Burberry. I don't know what people are calling. Anyway, so they sell it at JCPenney. They sell it at Kohl's. It's like one of those brands that's been all over the mall radar. It does have a little spot on the back. I did get the majority of it out in the wash, so you can barely see it in the photos. Oh, in the camera. I'll probably list it for like $75.
Crystal's right. You can put snacks in there.
It's perfectly for your snacks. Snacks. Maybe put your Pop-Tart in there on your way to school.
I don't know, Pop-Tart. Gross.
I like Pop-Tarts.
Gross.
I really liked them in high school. Okay, so these are some vintage 70s.
Whoa.
Not that bright red. That, as you guys know, that the wall color here throws off our red.
More of a burgundy.
More of a burgundy. Vintage 70s, kind of stretchy waist, like Sansabelt jean shorts. They're pleated in the front. They've got a little metal zipper and the metal hook waist. These are men's. They're the shorter shorts, which are, if you're Ryan Roots, you still wear them today. But if you're not,
I must see Angel in a pair of these.
Coat shorts, exactly, Lori. These are coat shorts. So that's, you want to put that in the title. You want to put coat shorts in the title. And these always sell for me on Etsy, and they sell pretty fast. There is a little bit of an underground current in short shorts that men's short shorts that has a little bit of a fetish thing to them. I don't mention that. People find it. But so they'll sell probably like $60.
Crystal, that's why you got to try and get them to put some on.
Not short pants, shants. That's what I call them, shants. Yeah. They're not quite shorts, they're not quite pants. Shants.
Yeah,
they come down past his knees.
They're like shorts, but they're so long that
and then he
like
wears his white socks up.
There's an inch of skin between the bottom of his pants.
You can see an inch
top of the socks.
An inch of sexy shin showing.
Sexy shin showing.
Okay. So this is a jacket that someone had pulled at the bins and then put it back, and I know why. But this is a vintage gray blue suede jacket. Look at that collar. Look at that dagger collar on there. Look at it. Look at it.
Stab somebody with it.
It's this, and it's got this great paisley fabric inside as the liner. Now the reason why they threw it back is it's dirty. It's really dirty suede. Thanks, Jane. That's our friend Jane Boyd.
What's up, boys? Thanks, Jane. Thanks, Jane.
Jane has had that name, Jane's Jungle Safari. She's had that name on her store as long as I've been following. I believe I started following Jane or friendly with Jane in the eBay power seller board days 20 plus years ago. I just have always remembered her name. Yep, see, 19 plus years. Wow. Anyway, so this jacket is just really sweet. What is not sweet about it is that it is definitely, I think you might not see it when I hold the collar up yet. So here's the thing. I've talked about this before. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm not going to pay to have it dry cleaned, because having leather and suede dry cleaned costs you as much as you would sell this thing for, pretty much. What I am going to do is turn it inside out, wash it using Woolite probably right in my washing machine, and then I'm going to air dry it. And then when I'm done air drying it, I will throw it in the dryer for about 30 minutes to get all that crunchy stuff off, and then I will suede brush it. So
in the washer.
I'm going, yes, and I've done it before. I could sell it filthy like this for something. Someone will still buy it, but I'm not going to. And the worst case scenario, I've wasted $3 or $4 and I ruin it in the washing machine. However, I've done it before and it works.
Yeah, Jane, come.
Jane, I would love for you to come. I've never met you in person. Would love to.
Absolutely.
Okay. So don't be afraid to throw stuff in the washing machine. I've done it before. Crystal specifically will appreciate this. I grabbed this yesterday. It is in near perfect condition. I am absolutely in love with it. Frankly, if it fit my body, I'd wear it. And I don't say that about all the vintage, but this is vintage Alfred Shaheen. This is the brand label, Shaheen, Shaheen. Most of his designs are Polynesian in nature, and they're somewhat in that whole tiki world, tiki community, but very, very beautiful styles. And in most of his fabrics, the prints and the fabric prints, the thing about not just the styles, he made the prints and designs as well. So you'll find his signature in a lot of clothing somewhere in a print, especially if it's a busy print. This one I haven't found the signature yet. It doesn't mean it's not there. But this is a maxi dress in pink. It has a square neckline. It has these sheer bracelet cuff sleeves. All the buttons are in it. It's like baby pink. But it's a maxi dress, and it has these gorgeous pleats.
The colors are kind of muted right now. You can see how everything's kind of muted. It's much brighter in person.
And it's really, really pretty. The pleats are in perfect condition. They're off, they're very, very stiff pleats. It actually feels like something that has been hanging in someone's closet unworn for 50 or 60 years. Yeah. The only condition issues are right on the hem. There's some discoloration that looks like it may be from like mold, or I don't even know, wet at some point right at the hem. I'm very tempted to ask Crystal just hem it and take the stains out that way, because I am not going to wash this. Otherwise, I am going to sell it as is and list it as is. Someone else could deal with that. Because what happens when you try to wash these types of items that have these beautiful pleats in them, the pleats wash out. If you think I am going to try to iron, starch pleats and anything, you're out of your freaking mind. It's never going to happen. So I don't know what I'm going to list it for.
It was funny because there's the bins are like long, and I was on one side of this one bin, and I'm digging, right? Vikki comes up next to me to the other end of it. She pulls this dress out, and then she turns to me in a very accusatory manner and goes, "You didn't grab this for me? You didn't grab this?" I had not gotten there yet. And I'm like, if I would have seen this in the bins, 100% I would have grabbed this for her. But immediately, you didn't even grab this for me? So rude.
Anyway, it's honestly, it's really, really beautifully made. I'm leaning toward just listing it as is. Someone else can hem it or cut the ends if they are not able to treat it and soak it, because most people that buy vintage clothing and wear it regularly do know how to treat it and soak them. And again, I probably could get these stains out, but it would be at the risk of ruining the style of this. And I know my limitations. So I will absolutely come back and tell you about the jacket condition, by the way, Lori. I'll let you know how it goes. I'm probably not going to wash it today, but I will when we get back. Anyway, so this is probably my favorite find of the week. Let's see. I will go a little bit faster now. Sorry, I'm not going to keep going for 10 minutes on every item. But this I also picked up at the bins yesterday. This is super gorgeous, heavy tapestry, also baby pink, with kind of like a glittery imprints in it. It looks like and feels like Chanel fabric. It's not Chanel fabric. There is no branding on this, but it is vintage, satin lined, vintage, probably 60s. It's amazing buttons. But it's just this vest. It's a high collar vest. It's a large vest. Could be worn by a man or a woman, honestly, but it is pink. It buttons as a man's vest. There was nothing with it. There's no match. There's no labels. There was no anything. It could even be like Indian, like Middle Eastern Indian, but I had to leave. I had to pick it up. It has a beautiful lining as well that has this really faint horse bit kind of print on it. It almost looks like old Gucci, but it's not. And I really am not able to find. I tried. I looked everywhere. I'm not able to find what it could be. It could just be nothing. But there's no label on it. I wish there were. I just had to rescue it. I don't know. Somebody will wear it. All right, here's another one. This is also a bins find. I've already treated this, washed it, and then bleached it and washed it. Katy did the bleaching part. I did the other. It did not. There's a spot that did not come out. A couple spots, unfortunately. So I'm hoping someone buys it for a costume type thing, because I could not leave it behind. So this is just a vintage, like 90s shirt. But look at this. It's got the
blingity bling bling bling.
It's got, a card deck there that's embroidered. This is satin. And then it's got all these little dingle dangles that are the suits from the cards.
Look at the buttons.
And then the buttons.
Look at the buttons.
And it's got money signs up here. And then the buttons are dice. I mean, come on now. If I've ever seen a Vegas shirt ever, this is a Vegas shirt. It's a blouse. Now, it has a slight yellow stain right next to the card deck on the chest. So, I don't know. I'm hoping someone will buy it anyway. I do sell damaged items. People do buy them. Just disclose that they're damaged. Sometimes people won't really care. I mean, if somebody's buying this to wear
or they might be doing
casino
something
night,
like
or they're upcycling it or repurposing it in some way, don't like.
Like somebody might want to dye it. I don't know.
Right, it's not going to be me. But anyway, I love it. I'll probably list it for $40 because of the issues. Katy found this real quick for me too. This is vintage. This is just like 90s. 90s does 60s. Leather skirt with kind of this bright leather pattern on it. It's the brand is Metro Style, which I believe is actually like Spiegel, which is a catalog that you would order from that I even ordered from in the 90s. But cute little pencil skirt in a really bright pattern. It's actually labeled as a size 8. And I have to say, I haven't measured it yet, but this feels true to size because it's not super tiny, like most of the vintage stuff I find.
Yeah, I can give you stuff.
Sometimes. Vintage. This is a big one. This is a big man's reverse print vintage rain schooner shirt. So 80s or 90s rain schooner. It's a nice reverse print. This has got to be like a 2 or 3X at least. It's starched and ironed and dry cleaned and going right to be listed like this. It's a pretty muted pattern for a Hawaiian shirt, but it's still a really nice one. They'll sell. The bigger they are, the more you can ask. So that'll probably sell for about 70 to 80. This one, it came from the bins as well. This is just, it looks like a members only racing jacket. It is not members only. It's kind of a no-name racing jacket, vintage from the 80s. It's gray. It's got this, the tag is called Automotive Pro Stock Design. It's got like this pro tag. It's trying to be members only, but it's cute.
Love it.
Very vintage. Looks like Britt would wear it.
I'm jealous of it.
Let's see. I don't always pick up North Face stuff, kind of like I don't always pick up Lululemon or Patagonia. The ship has kind of sailed on the majority of that stuff unless it's vintage or something very distinctive. But I did pick this up. This is a heavy, thick, the North Face Extreme hoodie. And the ones that say this have extreme on them like that. This is just yellow and gray, but the yellow is pretty bright. Tend to go for more money. So I think I can get like $75 out of it. It's not vintage or anything, but worth picking up. I'm almost done, guys.
No one's rushing you.
Vintage 90s. I've actually sold this exact dress before. This is a vintage Disney store 90s Hawaiian dress. But it's got Mickey and Minnie and the little hibiscus. So it's cute. This actually sells for like $50 to $75. Probably cost me $1. We were talking earlier about certain types of jeans and things like Katy bought those anchor blue jeans because they were super trendy. And I'm going to say this is very similar to that, where this is a brand that is irrelevant. I don't even know what brand it is. Doesn't really matter. But this, these are vintage 90s, kind of this elastic waist pant with the jeans with the stars and these big wide legs. And then it's kind of got the racing stripe down the side. This is very, very 90s, like Gwen Stefani-ish. It's super cute. There probably were, the brand is Match. Irrelevant. Doesn't matter. They were probably sold at some cheap junior store like Deb or Rainbow or something like that. Doesn't really matter. There's a little sewing action that needs to happen on this elastic in the back. It's just torn on the seam, needs to be restitched up there. And then this probably has some drawstring at the waist, which I'm just going to cut a shoestring and put it in there because it's not drawstring. It actually just looks like it had it in there and tied at the front. And I will probably list these for like $125. They're the name and the brand is not really as relevant as the style. And these are super cute and not really tiny. They're probably like a size 15 years, I'm sure, but they're probably like a current size 5 or 7 instead of like a size 0, like a lot of stuff is. Those are under £1, so they're costing less than $2. But let's see, just a couple more. Okay, so these types of things you find often at the thrift stores, at garage sales, at the bins, blah, blah, blah. This is something that the whole Taylor Swift era, the Eras Tour thing has brought back, the whole glitter sequence. It's not just Taylor Swift. There's that country singer, that young country singer that did it too, and Gaga. The whole wearing sequins thing is huge. That was the one thing I saw in Nashville that I don't see a lot of places. Oh my God, the outfits on these girls were decked out head to toe in sequins and they looked great. Everything was sequins. Short shorts, sequin sparkly tops, sequin sparkly hat thing happening, and then cowboy boots. It was so cute. I love watching the fashion trends with younger people. Young to old, but mostly the younger people are pulling off the cooler fashion trends. Let's face it, right? So with that being said, this is the type of stuff you find a lot of, usually like in India, it's silk, it's heavily sequined and beaded, or it's Kazar, or there are other brands, but the brand is less important than the style. There's a lot of like sequin tops like this that look like butterflies. The sequin butterfly tops are having a moment again. If you find those from the 80s, they're selling, and they're selling to the young girls. They're pairing them with a denim skirt or jeans or shorts and wearing them with cowboy boots. So pick up these sequin tops. This is not one of those, but this is a sequin top with design, and this is a little bit bigger. So this is going to fit the bigger girl that's not a size 2. That won't wear what her size 2 friends are wearing. So pick these up again. I'll probably list it for $50 or $60. You're right. The Swifties want to wear what she's wearing. Let's see. I did just list one of these. I found another one.
Do you have keywords for sequin tops?
I put Swiftie, Taylor Swift. I would put those not in the title, obviously, but although you can on some platforms, they don't care. This is the keywords. Dynasty, that's a good one. Dynasty's a good one. But like sequins, I put somebody's probably going to come up with better words than me. Anyway, I just listed one of these this week, and I found another one. The difference being is that this is a 3X. So this is vintage, Paradise Lost.
It's a Magnum PI shirt.
This is the Magnum PI shirt. Paradise Found, not Paradise Lost. Sorry. This is the Magnum PI shirt. Literally just listed one. It's red with the purple parrots. If you go and look this up, it is not keyword spamming. You can put that in the title, and you can actually find many pictures of him wearing this exact shirt from the 80s. A lot of people put them in the listing. I know that I did. And because this is a bigger size, I think I can get a little bit more money for it.
Lori, I usually put, if you have extra keywords and you don't know the title, I put them in theme, under theme.
Theme on eBay. And if you're listing in list perfectly, there is a spot for you to put keywords that will import into the different platforms properly. And that's actually the great place to put them. Yep, Sandy Tom Selleck, man, my mom loved him. As a matter of fact, I did too in the 80s. I thought he was the most handsome man, and I was still a kid. I should not have been looking at 40-year-old men, but I did. Anyway, so if this is one of my other favorite finds from this week. If this were an adult, I would be over the moon. So unfortunately, it is not an adult size. This is a kid size. It says small, so it's either a kid size small or it's like a junior size small. But it's small.
It's very tiny.
It's not a kid small. So I'm not exactly sure. I got to do some measurements. But this is vintage, made in Hong Kong, Polo Jeans Company. Let me see this tag here. It's not a tag that you see very often by Polo. There we go. There we go. So made in Hong Kong.
Look how cute it is.
It's the infamous flag sweater. I've never found one in an adult size. I was psyched to find one in kid size, and unfortunately that it's unfortunate that it's a kid size. If this were adult size, I would sell it for $300 or $400.
It's so cute.
As a kid size, I'll probably list it for 150, and just be disappointed that it's a kid size. But still, I paid like $1 for it. Look how cute it is.
Cute.
Hey, Will. And let's see. This is it. This is my last item I'm going to show. I already showed you all my best stuff, so this is not saving the best for last. This is just saving mediocre for last. But just vintage, 80s, acid wash, jean jacket. 80s acid wash jean jacket with leather trim. I'll probably sell it for like $75. And that's all I got.
Alexis, you're ridiculous.
We were watching a documentary with Alexis while she was here, and we had to speed up watching the last 2 episodes because she was had to leave, and she's like, "No, I'm never going to know what happened." You should never watch this TV at home. And it was kind of funny.
All right, I'm going to get right into mine. So like I said, if you want to see everything that we got on our Wednesday trip to the bins with Alexis, that video is going to be coming out this next Wednesday on the 28th. So everything we're showing you guys here was actually stuff that we got after Alexis ditched us to go back to California. We went Friday and yesterday. Now, yesterday I picked this up. So Vikki was talking about saving vintage. I have a similar problem where when I see something that's like really old and I think it, and I'm like amazed that it survived and is in still such great condition, even if it's something I don't normally sell, I have a really hard time knowing that maybe it's going to end up just disappearing or being thrown out. So for instance, the other day we were at the bins and our friend Danielle was there, and I found a couple of really, really cute toddler dresses that were like the 40s, I think, that were embroidered, and they were so cute, and they were like in perfect condition. And Vikki was like, "They take too long. I have to be already." So I went and gave them to Danielle, and she was very happy to take them. And I was like, "I have to save them." So this is going to go under the title of things I bought to try and prove to Vikki I can sell them category. And
well, you've already proven that with those anchor blue jeans.
Yeah, but I still have that roached out circus hat that I was going to sell for $10. So who knows? The track record is not quite there. But anyway, I could not give this up. Okay, so this is so freaking cute. So these are hospital gowns for, I'd say, toddlers or infants. And I could not help grabbing them because look at the pattern. I think it's so cute. It's the little rocket ship. It's actually a syringe, and it says on it, property of Milam Textile Services, not to be removed from hospital premises. Anyway, so I have 2 of these that are the same size, and they're both in perfect condition.
I will say, if I go and look through some of my storage, I do have one of those. My daughter had surgery when she was 2. She had tubes put in her ears, and I saved the hospital gown.
Well, here's the label. Aww. When would you date this from?
I mean, I think it looks like it's 60s-ish.
I just love the fabric. And who knows? Maybe somebody will buy this just to like take this fabric and do something with it. I think they're super freaking cute. And so here I am. I don't do kids clothing, and now suddenly I have 2 hospital gowns for babies.
Hospital Johnnies for toddlers.
But I mean, they're so cute. They're so cute.
I passed on those too. She was like, "Do you want these?" I'm like, "No."
You passed on what?
Those.
Well, I know that was my whole point, is that Vikki passed on them, and I said, nope, I have to. Because I was like, well, then nobody's going to buy these. They're going to end up getting thrown out. So, anyway, we will see. All right, next up, this is not anything too exciting, but I saw there's these young kids who go into the bins now that are probably like 12, 13, 14. Old enough to have fuzz on their upper lip, but still kids. And I saw this one that picked this shirt up and was looking at it. Now, it was super yellowed and stained, and he picked it up and looked at it and threw it back. I don't know what he's looking for. I don't know if he's looking to resell or for his own collection, but he picked this up and then threw it back, and I immediately went, yoink. And not that it's anything crazy, but I do pretty well with like these car t-shirts. This one says Tucker's Classic Pickup Parts is what it says on the front. And then the back, pay attention to me, lady. I'm trying to share my stuff here. Like I'm as interested as your phone. But the back, I love it because usually it's like cars, but these are like cool classic trucks. So I actually think it's pretty cool because I feel like cars are you see far more frequently. And I washed it and bleached the crap out of it, and it looks pretty good. What do you think? Pretty clean. I should be able to get like 40 bucks for that.
It's true, Crystal. That is what the bins does to you. You find all these things. You're like, this next step is that this stuff's going to get sent overseas, bailed up and sent overseas or just destroyed. So
I don't care about most stuff. But there's just something about that pattern was so freaking cute.
Well, vintage in general, that's why I pick up the damaged, broken wing birds too. I hate when something has survived 60 or 70 or 80 years and now it's going to get trashed.
It's a little piece of history. It's like, who knows? Some little baby was wearing that when they were in the hospital sick or something. I'm like, all right. Vikki actually grabbed this one for me. This is like Y2K probably, but it's super worn and beat up and faded. Look at that chewed up collar. Some mouse has been chomping on that. Just kidding. But this is actually for a beer. But it's the beer. First of all, the beer is from Park City, Utah. Okay. And it is called Polygamy Porter. Polygamy Porter. And it says, I have just one. Bring some home for the wives.
I think it's hilarious.
So, and then the front of it says, I've tried polygamy. Now I'm going to go ahead and say I will never try polygamy because I do not like porter beers.
So, that's why?
Yeah, that's why.
But also, you can't handle more than one of me.
Good grief. Let's talk about the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't share well.
Let's talk about the beer. Anyway, I love it. I think it's great. Thank you very much. Vikki also hooked me up with this shirt. This is a 90s on the Tooltex tag. 90s UNLV basketball team. It's really nice size too. It's a 2XL. It's funny. I was going through my stuff and I had this set to the side, and one of the t-shirt bros came through and like went. So it's not anything that special, but it's a nice big size, which I appreciate. Next up, I got this dead stock, late 90s, early 2000s SeaWorld adventure parks. I will never set foot in a SeaWorld, but I will buy and sell their vintage crap. And this is Cirque de la Mer. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming
Cirque of the water? Cirque of the sea?
I'm assuming some sort of attraction they have there or something like that. But this is a nice big XL dead stock t-shirt. I don't know that it's going to sell for anything crazy, but probably $50 at the most, probably more likely 40. So yesterday, or was the day before yesterday, Jesse from Yesterday's Fits was there and he was digging through, and I'll go over to him and be like, "Oh, what'd you got? What did you pick up? Anything I need?" He's more than happy to like flip something real quick. And so he had found this t-shirt and he sold it to me. Basically, I paid him $30 so that I could buy it. I paid $30 for the privilege of paying for it by the pound. But this is dead stock, early 80s. Look at this. Sleeveless, made to be sleeveless. Willie Nelson over the state of Texas. It is a small. The tag says medium. It's on Screen Star's tag. Tag says medium, but it does measure like a small. I've already photographed it and everything. But it's dead stock, perfect condition. I'll probably put this up for like $200. I think I should be able to sell it for $150 to $200. But it is fan-freaking-tastic. And I paid him $30 for it. So he gave me a really good deal. And yeah. Next up, I've got this.
You know what? I don't think I even noticed yesterday when you showed that to me that it looked like that.
This? Mm-hmm. Well, I showed it to you, and you were like, no. It's like you.
I don't think I registered what it said on it. I think it just looked like a pattern.
She asked me what it said. I said Gap, and then she just kind of looked at me blankly, like she didn't care at all. So now that all makes sense. I was like, seriously? Like, I felt like she would like it. This is not vintage. This is like within the last 5 years or so. Usually, so I'm going to show you guys real quick. A lot of times on like newer stuff, you can actually find the date. So this actually says, this is from 2018. So this is like only 5 years old, but it's a really cool retro look. It's a hoodie. It is all over print. It does say Gap on the front and the back and down the sleeves. It's just a really cool style.
I don't know why I didn't register that. That was.
I don't know. I showed it to her and she was so unimpressed. I'm like, seriously? Like, I thought you would at least be like, oh, that's cool. But no, she looked like beyond unimpressed. But
that's my usual look.
Anyway, this is only like 5 years old, so I'm actually hoping I can find like an original one and check it out and see like what it says, or there might be some prompts or whatever. So anyway, next up, I've got a lot of sweatshirts. You know, I do well with anything car related or tools or heavy equipment, and this one is Dan O'Donnell Construction and Excavating, which whatever, but the graphic, it's got Bobcat on it. This kind of stuff I can always sell. It's soft, actually. And this is probably like late 90s, early Y2K. I'm sure I can get like $40 out of this puppy. Next up, I got, this is not vintage. This is actually just from last year. You can see it says S22, which means it's from 2022. This is a Six Flags Fright Fest sweatshirt.
It's super bright neon. You really can't see that.
It's super bright. It's textured.
And it's like, this is like that rubbery, textured, sticky almost.
Yeah. It's got like a really cool design down the sleeve as well. I don't think I would make $1 bazillion with this, but they only make a certain number of these for that particular time of year, and it's different every year. So I feel like I could still get like $40 out of it. I don't know. I haven't really researched it or anything. Next up, this is something really cool I found. This is it's Toronto Light from Silver Creek Brewery. A little beaver on it. It's just a really cool hockey jersey for this beer. It's a Toronto brewery, but I'm assuming because it says Toronto Light. But this was actually made in the U.S. by a company that makes this sports stuff, such as this. So this is probably the same as any other, jersey they would make.
So here's the thing, Sandy, about that is that they didn't necessarily last for weeks at the Goodwill store, because what we buy, a lot of what Katy and I both find are the things that we direct donations. So that means that what that means is it hasn't been sorted through and no one has seen it until it ends up in the bins. So we have just as much of a chance as anyone else that happens to be there at that moment to grab the good stuff.
That is the key of a bins being worth going to, is that generally it's like maybe half and half, or at least half of the stuff is direct donations, because you would never ever find this stuff. Now occasionally I do buy things that have things that have tags on them, but it's generally not going to be anything that's like a crazy good find. Like we were just talking on our last show, I think, that there was a guy who got 2 pairs of like vintage dead stock Levi's, but like that were worth like thousands.
He sold one pair for $6,500, and that was at our bins in like the last 2 months.
That was never in a Goodwill store, I promise you that. So that's the key to it being worthwhile to go to a particular bins location. It has to have direct donations, or you are shit out of luck. Anyway, I haven't looked anything up. I don't know that I'll be able to find comps of any kind. So this will probably be something that, like, unless I'm able to find comps that goes for a ton, I'll probably just list it for like $100 for best offer, and hope I get anywhere from 50 to 100 for it. But who knows? Who knows? All right, this is not vintage, but it's a nice Western pearl snap shirt. It's nice red, and it's got a nice little kind of floral pattern.
I would have picked that up.
Now, I saw this in the bin, and then I went off and looked at some other spots, and then I came back and saw it again. So this was not something that eBay was running to catch up. But I should be able to sell this for probably $30-$40.
It should sell fast too.
Which when you only paid $1 for it, it's like great. And I love it when they have these. I don't know if there's a word for this, when they have like the 2 little instead of like the single point,
Sawtooth.
double point sawtooth. So yeah.
Yoke, well, double yoke pocket, but it's the yoke is really the back on the over the shoulders.
So this is the week of blazers for me. I've picked up 3 blazers in my time at the bins this week. One of them you will see on the haul that's going to come out on Wednesday. But this is the first one for today. Vikki says she thinks this is from the 50s based on the tag on the inside, correct?
Yep.
I think that's 50s. Yep. So this is what the tag on the inside looks like. Now, normally I stay away from blazers unless we're talking about Western ones, as Vikki's talked about it as well a lot. Normally I wouldn't pick up any blazers, but this particular one, speaking of fraternities and the Greek system and stuff like that.
It's a heavy wool blazer.
This has a patch. It's Alpha Phi Omega, and I believe, I have looked it up, I believe this is like one of the oldest or one of the largest fraternities that's been around for a very long time. And so, I mean, this is going to be something that there's going to be somebody out there who's going to want to pick it up. So I felt like it was worth grabbing for the $3 I paid for it. But I don't know. What would you list this for?
Probably in the $150 range, but it depends. If once you look up that, haven't looked up that chapter, like you said, depends on, there may be some more popular things that fell from that chapter. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll check it out. And then the other blazer I picked up is I picked up this one because it's very nice, made in Italy. The first thing I saw was made in Italy. It looks very nice. I could tell it was 100% wool. And then I opened it up, and it is Paul Smith exclusive. You can see the little tag right there. It's really cool because it's got like this double-decker pocket on the side here, and everything has the accent of the floral print accent.
Really nice jacket.
So I picked this up because Paul Smith stuff. If you buy this brand new, was probably what, 600?
No, it's probably like 2,000. It's probably like 2,000.
Okay.
Retail. I mean, their stuff retail is very high.
Well, yeah, it's very high. It's unreasonably high. It does not translate to resale.
No,
but
someone just donated it.
What would you list this for?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up and see. Yeah, I'd have to find out if I could find the exact model.
It's nice.
When it's newer, I do look those things up.
Yeah, it's nice because when you look at this little side pocket where it's this Paul Smith, there is a tag in here, and it does say what the model number is.
So tell me what it is while you're talking. I'll look it up.
It's model 1151. It is 100% wool. The lining is viscose. So
model what?
1151.
Okay.
So I don't know. But anyway, so at the very least, I'll list it for at least a couple hundred, but maybe more, depending. I got to look at costs too. But you can just tell it's a very nice quality jacket. It's just a really nice. The fabric's really nice. So yeah, I wasn't gonna pass that up.
Nope.
In great condition. I got more SeaWorld stuff here. This is just a 90s gear for sports. SeaWorld Adventure Parks. It's like basically like a sailing style jacket. A windbreaker. I don't know if it'll sell for a ton, but I should be able to get like $50 for it. And it's got Shamu on the back, little Shamu patch.
Aww.
Poor Shamu.
I'm coming up with sunglasses with that model. Whatever.
I got a lot of jackets here. A lot of jackets. This is not vintage. It is Reebok. And this is the Calgary Stampeders. They are a Canadian football team, professional football team in a CFL. And it's just a really nice windbreaker jacket. You can see on the sleeve, it says CFL Authentic Sideline. It's on the back. It's got like a nice big embroidered. So, I don't know. I'll have to look it up and see if I can find any of these. I don't know. I've never picked up anything from the CFL. So, but again, I'm paying like $2. So why not? I'm almost done, guys. Just got a couple more things here. Next up, I actually got a twofer. I found, it's funny because one of these jackets was like stuffed inside the other one. I'm like, is this like a jacket pants? Because I saw like this King Louis Pro Fit, and I know this is usually on a jacket, but it was like this was stuffed up inside, and I'm like, does it have pants that go with it? How weird! And then I realized no, it's two of the same jacket. But what's nice is they're two different sizes. One's a medium and one's a large. So we can go ahead and we can go to be twinsies.
No.
We just have to get a boat. This is for Squiggles too.
I thought it said Squiggy.
This is somebody's
Laverne and Shirley Squiggy. I get to call you Squiggy now.
This is somebody's boat. I don't know. Is this? I'm gonna have to look it up. But is this
That's a fishing boat?
A fishing boat? That
Yes.
style of boat? Okay. If you look up Squiggles, there's like a whole kids thing. You can never find. I'll never be able to find this exact boat, but it is like a fishing boat. But these jackets are so awesome. It's like an 80s jacket. Look at the
This
inside.
also looks like a members only jacket. It's that cafe racer style.
But they both have that buffalo plaid lining in them. So they're really nice. They're super cool.
This was for Squiggy and Squiggy's first mate. So they're
Squiggles. Anyway, got both of those. I'll probably price these at like $70 a piece. But they're fine. They're cute.
So Joe Nicole said, what platforms are you selling the shirts on, Katy? You sell everything on everything.
As far as, I mean, I sell everything on everywhere. So the vast majority of my stuff is vintage. So everything goes on eBay. Everything goes on Grailed, Mercari, and now Depop. And then as long as it's vintage, it also goes on Etsy. So it's 5 different platforms. All right, last thing. Jesse grabbed this. I grab stuff and give it to Jesse all the time, and he does the same for me. So, you help each other out when you're at the bins.
He does it for me too when Katie's not there. But now that Katie's there, she's probably going to get the stuff.
Well, but he knows more like women's stuff. But anyway, he gave me this jacket. And I said, "What? This isn't in your. This isn't the type of stuff your buyers are looking for." And he kind of laughed. This is a sorority. This is actually, I think, one of the largest, if not the largest, African American women's sorority. It is Alpha. Was it? Alpha Kappa Alpha, aka. So you can see it's got the little embroidery right here, but the back is really big.
So the measurements for t-shirts, underarm to underarm seam, you would list it, and you just put down measurements taken while laying flat. You put underarm to underarm.
Not 46.
So you put 23.
Yeah.
You just tell the listing how you're taking the measurements. So Katy actually uses Sizely, which has a graphic. But if you don't use that, you just put, measurements taken while laying flat. So they know to double them.
Alexis wants us to get a boat and wear the jackets.
She didn't say anything about getting a boat.
She did right here. Get a boat.
Oh, yeah, no. Nope.
Anyway, nice big. This is all embroidered on the back. This is Alpha Kappa Alpha, sorority Inc. And it says Skiwi on it, and which is, I guess, the Skiwi is it's like in their sorority. It's like the sound you make when you come into the house, kind of high pitched. So I don't know. I've been looking at it, but just really cool little piece of history. I don't know when this is from.
It's a really expensive jacket. The embroidery on the
back.
Yeah,
it's a lot of embroidery.
And it's like double, many layers.
Would you date this?
I would say that looks like a late 70s, early 80s label.
Yeah.
I'm going to say one more thing, Jovial Juggler. Thanks for popping in, by the way. I'm going to say this just because it's a pet peeve of mine, and I also know that it is for a lot of other people. Using the word pit or armpit is disgusting. Underarm to underarm, bust, chest. One of those words are better than pit. I understand it's shorter.
And a lot of people, to be fair, don't care in the streetwear world. They definitely.
I know. I'm just saying.
So.
They do care. There are. It's not just me that thinks they're disgusting words, and it has a negative connotation to it. So if it's going to offend one person, I'm going to take it out of my listing personally.
Yeah. Well, but at the same time, nobody's not going to buy something because somebody wrote it. If they did, it'd be a little bit crazy. That'd be a little crazy.
Well, that's me.
Yeah, you're a little crazy. Yeah. See, Alexis really wants to get that boat.
Not getting a boat.
Anyway, that's everything, guys. Seriously, make sure you watch.
Still managed to be a 2-hour show. We did a whole hour of a haul.
You went like hard on your haul. You like did a good 40 minutes.
Sorry.
Anyway, if you want to see more of the stuff that we found this week, like I said, everything that we found on Wednesday, we did in a haul that will be coming out this next Wednesday. So just stay tuned for that. We found some really cool stuff for sure. You can hear about what happened to Alexis. We take her to the bins as our guest, and things went south from there. So you're definitely going to want to check it out. And
that's it.
And that's it. We should be back for next.
We will be. We come back Thursday afternoon. We'll be here next week.
I guess we're going to have to hit the bins on Saturday, maybe Saturday and Sunday. Definitely not Friday. We're gonna
Alexa says, keep your pits to yourself. Ew. See? It does offend some people. I mean, maybe offend is maybe a strong word.
You came out pretty harsh. It's like, oh, a person that's new to asking questions on our channel. Hey, I just want to tell you one thing. When you say that, it's disgusting. I'm offended.
See, we're laughing. It's true.
You got real angry when you were saying that.
I did not get angry.
You were like real mad.
It's not even mad. You're a weirdo. All right, guys. See you. Those of you that I'm gonna see tomorrow in Phoenix, we will see you there, and we'll see the rest of you back here on Sunday.
Yeah.
Have a great week.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.